I sell real estate in Jamaica. Thank you so much for opening this video. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today, in Jamaica here, we're doing a lot of infrastructure development. Yes, with the help of the Chinese government, we are fixing our roads. We are doing so much in this country. It's amazing. It's a game changer for Jamaica. It's what I call a tipping point for us. For those of you who know tipping point, it's usually when something small, like a small change happens in your life, and it actually creates a big change in your life. So I think this is a tipping point in Jamaica here now. Ladies and gentlemen, I know some of you vex. You say, boy, the Chinese are exploiting. Well, exploitation. So what is exploitation? I want to talk about this today because a lot of you have been saying in the comments that, boy, Miss D, you're happy that they come, but they exploited us. Well, are they exploiting us? Let's talk about that, guys. Let's talk about it up front and personal today. What is exploitation? So exploitation, I looked it up in the dictionary, because I'm a dictionary girl. It's the action. I found two meanings actually in the dictionary, the Oxford Dictionary. It's the action of treating someone unfairly in order to benefit from their work. So we use words like ill-treat and mistreat. You say, boy, you ill-treat the man. Or you go and say you mistreat him, right? And you take advantage of him. Jamaicans love to say that you take advantage of the man, right? So it is also the second meaning, though, says the action of making use of and benefiting from resources. So ladies and gentlemen, just like when you had the exploitation of gold, remember? Alright, so we're going to talk about exploitation today. I am actually up in Barbican Heights. Barbican Heights is a place I'm very familiar with. Came to live in Barbican Heights when I was younger, quite by accident, ladies and gentlemen. And it was a tipping point in my life. It was what I called a game changer for me. Because I was born in the community of Jonestown, actually. Yes, those of you who grew up in Jonestown, you're familiar with Jonestown. That's where I was. I grew up with my mother and father in the community of Jonestown. So I'm pretty familiar with Jonestown and Trenchtown and Arnett Gardens. I'm familiar with those areas. So as I travel on Barbican Road, I can reminisce. I remember my days walking back and forth for going to school on this road. But let me start at the top for you. So I'm going to talk about exploitation, and I'm going to relate it to my family life and exploitation. So in 1977, I lived in the community of Jonestown with my brother and my mother. By that time my mother and father had broken up, and we lived in Jonestown. Now, I passed for Woolmer's Girls' School. Now, my name came out in the Gleaner. Yeah, man, them days I put your name in the Gleaner. I got a government scholarship. I was going to Woolmer's Girls' School, and my mother was so happy. I remember she walked up and down the whole community and she tell everybody, oh, Claudia going to Woolmer's. Wow, and as I come down into Barbican Square, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the roads that the Chinese government helped us with. Yes, I remember what this used to look like because I used to walk up and down on this down here every day to take the patty pan bus, as we used to call it that time. The little chaka bus that you squeeze up in for here so to go down to Woolmer's. Sometimes we couldn't even hold in the bus the way the bus chuck up. Now we have bossy bus with AC and all these things. And we talk about we must step up in our life. Of course we have to step up in life, people. We have to step up into life. So this is now the new Barbican Square. Fontana is on my left, and I soon finish telling you the story. Fontana is on my left. Also I have to my right Sugar and Spice actually came. Oh, I forgot to introduce you. My daughter is with me today, so she's helping me to navigate this path. So this is a Barbican Square that I used to walk up and down in. So the Chinese have given us a dual carriageway, and we used to have a lot of traffic. Those persons living in this belt of Barbican Square.
I'm going around the loop.
Going around this loop of La Chouche and this whole heap of traffic, and I mean you just spend hours in this traffic trying to get to Bird Sucker, trying to get to Graham Heights, Arcadia, and all roads leading off Jacks Hill, Barbican Heights, and all these places. I mean, it was just a nightmare, you know. So we welcome the Chinese government for helping us to get this road completed, right? So back to the story here now. So I get the scholarship, I'm go Woolman's, I'm tell you say I'm a happy man. My mother can go first farm, I get all my book them from book rental. Yes, people get book rental, never have to pay for no books. I get my own locker and everything, my own decks. Yes, I'm in first farm, did well too. Got lots of A's in first farm. And I did well, right? Mash up the exam them. Second farm come now. My mother say, Claudia, me get a visa and me go America. Wow, can you imagine now? She get a visa and she go America. Now, my mother said she going to America because she had actually lost her home in the community of Trenchtown. Because I also lived in Trenchtown at the time, right? So we lived in Trenchtown for a part of the time as well, because she had gotten her home in Trenchtown, but she lost it due to the violence, you know, that was going on in the same earlier 70s there. So people, she said she going to America. Man, I tell you, I mean, just like how you hear me stuttering now, I was like in shock. But I guess for my mother, she was going to be benefiting from the resources in America, right? She was going to make her life better. With us now in Jamaica, so she get a bus and she go to America. Little did I know that my mother got a one entry visa to go to America. Like most of you, a lot of you, you got a one entry visa and you're going away to America, right? To make your life better, see if you can get this green card and this citizenship and all these things, you know, all these things to make your life better, get your children up and all of that, right? Well, she did try to get us up, and that's for another story, guys. So she boarded the plane and she said, guys, she said to my brother and I, you know, Claudia, your father going to come and take you. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm now on Grand Spen Road, right? She said, Claudia, your father coming, he's gonna come and take you. 1 day passed, no father. 1 week passed, no father. 1 month passed, no father. Whoa, of course she lives at Jonestown in a but you know, we live in a tenement yard. When you live in those communities, whole heap of people in the yard, so you don't feel lonely. We young, we not really stress out. She leave money, we have food, and the lady that I take care of her name is Dulcie. So we go to school same way we do a thing, and we're healthy, we're strong. We miss our mother, but we go through and we do a thing, right? And Miss Dulcie I take care of her. And besides, it was me and my brother, we had each other, right? December come, see my cousin come, Auntie Peaches, we call her, because she older than we. And she come and she pack we up and she said, like she carry go up to her father. People, may I tell you now, say, she drive out, you know. And you know where I leave the community at Jonestown, I have only people on the road and something. As me I go through and me see the street them now and the road them get bigger now and the house them look pretty and everything. And me I say, in my mind, me I say, but hold on, my father gone a foreign tour, that me I think, you know. When me reach up at the house, me I see the gate open up, and the gate open up now, and me say, well, the gate open up without nobody that even touch or open the gate. Oh, the gate open up, people. The flowers are pretty, why the flowers are pretty than Miss Jamaica, I kid you that. When you see when the night come down, the boy, you could have seen the whole of Kingston with the whole heap of light them. So people, while my mother gone a foreign, go make use and benefit from resources My father and my auntie I benefit from resources right here so at Jamaica. Guess what? My father and my auntie I do them igla ring down a town. So them a buy and sell them nighty and them panty them and them this and that. I don't know what the igla ring thing down a town go. And actually later on now we had a prime minister who came and he said this thing is going to be called informal commercial importers. So they became informal commercial importers afterwards, ICI, and started to go into other places now to bring in things to import and sell, right? So that did a go on for them, and them I make them money and I do them thing, you understand? So they found a way to exploit the resources. I remember they also started to do the buying and selling of fabrics. So they bought the fabrics from the big merchants downtown and they went to the markets of Falmouth and they went to the big markets out at Sav and sell. And my brother and I would help at the trucks. And we would also go to the markets with them, you know, and sell these things. So I learned to do all of that higgling as well. And of course it benefited me a couple years later when, I mean, my same father threw me out. But ladies and gentlemen, that is for another story. But you see people talking about exploitation. My father and auntie right here so in Jamaica was exploiting and benefiting from the resources in Jamaica while my mother was overseas trying to do the same thing. So I'm now on the Constant Spring Road, and this is another road that has been slated for this major 5-star general infrastructure work. So I call it 5-star general infrastructure work because there are 5 big roads that have been slated for this infrastructure development. The Constant Spring Road is one of them, one of the 5-star general roads. So is the Hagley Park Road is one of them, right? So, and the Mandela is one of them, which I've done a video before of the Mandela for you. So as I go along, you can look at what's going on the Constant Spring Road side of it. All right, back to the story. So remember now, you know, so the band never ever come for we now, auntie ever come for we now and force them now for take we now for take care of we. All right. So later on down in the December now, my mother now send some barrel come give me. My father go down in the Jonestown community now for the barrel. When the man go for the barrel them, the man realize say, my mother send sugar, rice, flour, corn, meal, this, that, peas, oil, you name it. People, you don't know them barrel there, right? Because I mean, you don't know them because of the pack them all the while I send them down here, right? And the man, you know what say? The man say, oh wait, when the mother said them barrel come. We say, well, we get the story, them people them say. The man say, wait, when the mother said them barrel come, said them barrel or something there come give you for. I don't know one can meal and flour and rice. Can you imagine the man turn them back and leave them down at Jonestown for the people? I mean, she sent some clothes in her. She never buy a lot of clothes because I guess it was winter when she landed. Because remember, she left in September. I remember she sent me a wedgie, black and white shoes. Never forget it. So she sent me a shoes, some little clothes and so on. But the majority of these 3 barrels were flour, sugar and rice. That the lady managed to save up her money and pack and send down here, and the man turned them back and said, no, my children don't want no flour, rice and cornmeal. Them don't need that. No. Just imagine me now at my young age, you know, me vex. But guess what? I lived at Millsboro for about 4 years because I'm telling you, so the man threw me out. That's another story. But I lived there for 4 years, and you know, as I got older and I think about it, when I lived at Jonestown, we were never hungry because my mother ensured we had our stew peas, our oxtail, our, you know, our rice and peas and chicken and all these things. But when we lived at Millsboro, we also ate very well, but the atmosphere was different, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, at Millsboro, Barbican Heights. For those of you know where I'm talking about, we lived in bedrooms that were like 15 by 15 feet, 15 feet wide by 15 feet wide.
Private bathrooms?
Yes, Tony Ann. Private bathrooms. So each bedroom had its own bathroom. Unlike the community of Jonestown, where we have 5 and 6 families rushing for one toilet
On the outside.
on the outside. That everybody was fighting as to who never clean the bathroom, and the bathroom dirty, and you know how that go, right, guys? Right? I mean, if you have lived it, you know what I'm talking about, right? So, I mean, I never had to clean the bathroom. My mother always ensured that she did it. But you know, as children, you heard the scuffles, right? I mean, and these bedrooms had white furniture, you know, which is probably why I just love white furniture in my bedrooms, right? So the lawns, I mean, they were always so manicured. I remember we had a badminton net and so on our lawn, and I would play with my brother on the badminton court, right? And everybody was related who lived in that house. We never had nobody to bother us and fuss with us about anything. It was a different atmosphere living at Millsbar than living at in the Jonestown community. So, ladies and gentlemen, walking up and down Millsbar, I saw people's lawns had horses on it. You know, I saw when I sometimes I had to stop on the road because persons had their German Shepherd's dogs. They came out on the road because somebody forgot to close the gate, and I had to stop and wait, you know, and I got an opportunity to look at the houses, and I would really stop and dream, and you know, I want to own one of these houses. And that is where my love affair of big houses came about. So it's not no me I look for a house, you know, and eventually I bought a house. The first house I bought was when I was 23, guys, but that's for another story. You wanna see how much story me have to tell you now? So, ladies and gentlemen, as I matured and I look back, I realized that my father, having lived now at Millsbar Avenue, had graduated from the barrel resources of flour, rice and sugar, right? He was now benefiting and exploiting other resources. So him never need my mother for bring him back to the barrel resources, to bring him back, or to bring us, his children, back. Well, he must say we are him children now. Mark you under duress. Back to the barrel resources, right? He had seen a difference and the fundamental shift. The fundamental shift of him moving north now. So this fundamental shift came about because for me, my geographical location my moving to going to Woolmer's Girls School also brought about the fundamental shift. So I've came up the full Constant Spring Road for you to show you what it's like now. And to my left is the Constant Spring Market, that where the fuss is about whether the Constant Spring Market should remain or it should remove, right, to make way for this dual carriageway that is supposed to take place right here, that will take us into the Stony Hill belt. Ladies and gentlemen, Stony Hill, this belt right here, it took you an hour, 2 hours just to get from Halfway Tree into Stony Hill. And the properties, the lots, the lands are selling in Stony Hill for about 6-7 million. No, I can't tell you. When this road is opened up, you will not be able to get a piece of land in Stony Hill for under 10 million. Stony Hill is now going to be like a Kingston 6, where you will not be able to buy any land for under 10 million. In the Kingston 6 belt now, lands are being sold for how much, Tony?
25 million.
25 million. 25 million, guys, if you can find it, right? So if you want a piece of land up in Stony Hill, you really need to get it now before this road is complete, right? So back to the story. Now, the story I just tell you, my story sound like any of your story? Any of your parents or even you yourself did run go foreign, or did you stay right here and benefit from our resources, right? Did you travel overseas? Did you get the barrel resources, or did you extract some real estate resources? No, don't forget, while some of you were going to other countries, the Jews, the Chinese, the Indians, the Syrians were coming to Jamaica and making use of the resources here, right? And they were building big industries, guys.
Is that what happened to the communities in Kingston 6, where we had that mass migration in the 70s, and then those families came in and bought up those properties?
That is exactly what happened. And that is how my aunt and my dad were able to exploit and get into a place like Millsboro. Because at the time, the government of the day, there was a whole flurry of the political system of, were we socialist, were we communist, were we capitalist? I mean, people weren't sure what was going to happen. So some persons panicked and left. So because they left, it left a gap and a void. Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, so you see, so the Syrians, the Indians, the Chinese, all of them were coming here, and they were using up the opportunities, earning, and they were exploiting the resources right here in Jamaica. They were doing their businesses, getting their real estate, and building big industries. And ladies and gentlemen, the rest is history. I want to thank my aunt and my dad for showing me a different side of Jamaica, a totally different side of Jamaica. That was the tipping point and the game changer for me. I want to also remind you of something, that you need to also know when you should graduate from the flour and rice resources to a more meaningful and a more sustainable resource like real estate, ladies and gentlemen. It's important that when you go overseas, because people will travel, yes, so we're not knocking you for wanting to go overseas. I didn't knock my mother for wanting to go overseas. When you go overseas, I need you to, yes, you go over there, you're getting some opportunities and so on, but you start selling these barrels, but you have to know when to stop just only extracting flour, rice and sugar and sending to Jamaica. You have to know when to buy some real estate in these countries. You have to know when to buy some gold or whatever it is that's making the wealth in that country at the time. You have to know what it is that you exploit so that you can make life. What educational systems, what training systems. You have to know what it is that you need to exploit to make life, right? Jamaicans who stay here, right? I need you also to know what to exploit. Now, one of the things that I found in growing up really and truly is that the only thing that will keep pace is the real estate. There really isn't anything else that you will buy with your money that will keep pace with real estate, with inflation, right? Everything else I gonna mash up and leave you guys. The car I gonna mash up. Everything I gonna mash up, leave you. For all of the 30 years that you're gonna be working and working and working, the only thing that will show the money that you have earned is the real estate. I'm traveling down Mannings Hill Road here now, going back onto Constant Spring Road shortly. The only thing that you'll have show for all of this work is the real estate. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about exploitation. We're talking about exploitation in the sense of making use and benefiting from the resources. It is important that you graduate from some of those kinds of resources. And I told you about my family, how my mother was exploiting resources in America and sending these barrels of rice and flour, and my dad turned back the rice and flour, you know. And sometimes I wonder if my mother had taken the bus north more, if she had seen halfway tree coming up into Constant Spring, coming up into Barbican, if she had seen those better communities more, you know, if she would have realized that there were other resources that she could have exploited, you know, just like how my dad had explored those other communities. If she had different types of friends, who he was mingling with other types of friends, while he saw a different type of Jamaica that he could have exploited, you know, she probably would have graduated from the rice and flour resources a little earlier, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm really happy that I got an opportunity to experience a different side of it, so I could have graduated a little earlier. So I want you to graduate a little earlier from the rice and flour and barrel resources. And I want you to graduate yourself, right? So what I want you to do, no matter what, when you're listening to this video, what month it is, what I want you to do, if you're thinking of sending a barrel here, I want you to go into your closet this time. I don't want you to go into the store. Go into your closet. So I want you to go into your closet. I want you to take out all those clothes that you have not worn. You have bought them in the stores. They still have the tags on them. All those clothes and shoes. I mean, you people overseas are noted for this, right? Take them out, pack them in the barrel. Then I want you to call these people in Jamaica who you're always sending these barrels to. And you know, you said to them, okay, you know, things are a little hard, you know. I want you to send the 30 US for the barrel. And I want you to send 100 US to ship the barrel, right? Send it to me through Western Union. So I want you to reverse the table upon them. Let them send the money to you to ship the barrel. So I want you to go into your pantry and go into your storeroom for all the tin food and something them that you have stuck up in there, because I know I have them stuck up in there. I have them stockpile like say famine a come, because I just saw the shop every Saturday on there. All these places I shop like say, I mean, I expect say World War III I got broke out this part on the day. I don't know why I do these things, or are little hoarders. So I want to pack the barrel like that. Don't go into the store and buy anything new. Just go into your storeroom and into your closet and pack those things, and go to your friend's storeroom to your friend's closet and pack those things and send them down here. And tell the people down here, let them send you the money to send the barrel, right? And let them find the money to go and clear it, because a barrel to clear out here is only about 6,000 or 8,000 Jamaican dollars. And it's going to cost them under 100 US to clear the barrel, ladies and gentlemen. You see when you do that? Don't send any more down here. I want you to call me and say, Miss D, I graduate now from Barrel Resources. Yeah, man, call me and say you graduate, man. You are now into some real estate resources. That's what you're into now, guys. Yeah, man. So you now want to exploit some real estate in Jamaica. Ladies and gentlemen, down on Constant Spring Road, I'm in the vicinity of Phil's Hardware, one of my favorite hardware stores. Yeah, if you want cheap things, go to Phil's, right? Ladies and gentlemen, You see how the road bumpy, the road rocky, and so it's still Jamaica now, but me I tell you, so this government is into infrastructure development, into real estate. That is what you must be into. And stop the foolishness. We have to have development. We have to step up in our life, right? And I want you to do that. Can't do that with flour, cornmeal, and sugar and rice. We graduate from that now, right? And you Jamaicans who are receiving those barrels, I'm talking to you too, you know. You really need to stop letting the people pack those barrels and send down here. Because you and I know that some of those things that they're packing in those barrels, you can't get them downtown cheaper. You know that. Come on. Irish Spring Soap and Kellogg's Cornflakes and Brunswick Sardine, I sell down a town cheaper, people. Don't make me talk up the things them. I don't want to give away a secret, but you know that they're cheaper downtown, and it costs them to pack those barrels, you know, 2,000, 3,000 US. That is a deposit, man. 300,000, 400,000 by the time when them ship it and clear it and all these things. Some people have packed 2, 3, 4 barrels and send come down. Come on, man. That is a deposit money for a piece of land. So guys, know when to stop with the flour, cornmeal and rice resources and move into the real estate resources. So, almost into halfway through here now. It has been a journey. Thank you so much. We talked about exploitation today. The exploitation didn't just start now, guys. Remember, it started from Christopher Columbus. From he came with the very first ships to Jamaica. It started. So, if you can't beat them, guess what? You have to join them, right? Remember, the ship sail already. I have to live here. So, I mean, I have to join them. I have to do some of the exploitation too, and I have to get my fair share of the pie. I can't just make it walk on by. So guys, I want you to take advantage of what's going on around you. So give me a call if you're ready to do some of the exploitation. 876-292-6776. Be great to yourself today and buy real estate. Remember the website, claudiadavis.info. Thank you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.